Alright guys, welcome to day 3 of the round of 8. As you can see, it is going to be Soma versus Rush. This is my match of the round of 8. So excited for this one. These two have played so much versus each other. Oh, I thought we were going to go into interviews, but it looks like we're going to go straight into the casters. Scan, what are your thoughts on this particular matchup? It's a Terran versus Zerg, two of the best for their respective races.
Well, they're pretty much kind of like a rivalry between those two players, Soma and Rush, and before Soma became such a strong player, and also Rush was not a strong player as nowadays, they used to play each other so many games, like back then where Transistor came out. Transistor came out in like 2018 or something like that, and that time there were just kind of like some kind of rivalry was going on between those two players, and Soma and Rush have been playing each other for like more than 500 games, like 700 games each other in these like past 3 years, I believe, and I'm excited to see how well they're gonna be played in this ASL Season 12 in this round of 8.
Yeah, I was looking at how many games they've played since the beginning of 2020. 701 sponsored matches.
What year was it?
From 2020 to today.
2020. Wow.
Yeah, the beginning of 2020. 701 matches. And the win rate is surprisingly close. It's 53% for Rush. So very, very close series here. And one of the first games I ever casted for StarCast was Soma versus Rush. And at that time, Cruiser was telling me that this is a rivalry. I had no idea. So yeah, there's a lot of history going on. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of mind games. Obviously, they know each other's play style extremely well. This should be a very close, very exciting series. I did see the maps before. Oh, looks like we're going into the highlights.
따내면서 2위로 8강 진출. 유영진 선수.
저그를 좀 뽑아주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
박상현 선수.
네.
전원전 진짜 실력 싸움이잖아요. 끝까지 민방위까지 추격합니다.
그냥 임전부터 좀 빠르게 해야겠다는 생각만 하다 보니까 너무 멉니다.
지치지 않는 청춘과 열정, 젊음을 대표하는 에너지 드링크 색소와 퍼포먼스로
We are once again back to this ASL Season 12 round of 8. This is going to be the day 3, or I should say match 3. She is summarizing up about the previous week, Mini versus Royal. That was a fantastic of a best of 5 series, where there was a lot of mind games were going on between those two players. And we're all also interested to see which Terran players is going to be going up into round of 4 semi-final. And the match 3 is going to be Soma versus Rush. Hello, how are you guys doing? And during the interviews, well, past interviews, you said you wanted to play against Rush. You pretty much kind of like provoking Rush is not a good Terran player in a group nomination, round of 16 group nomination. And now finally, you guys are playing each other. How do you think about it now?
그거는 그냥
So
도발이었고
Soma said,
요즘 테란 중에 엄청
he was pretty much bluffing.
잘하는 것 같아요.
He kind of has to agree. He's kind of like one of the Terran players who is extremely playing well nowadays. So from what he said from the group nomination is different than what he just now thinks.
일단 뽑아드려 일단 뽑아주셔서 감사하고
네.
그 좀 게임 하다 보니까 자신감이 점점 올라오더라고요.
So
네,
the caster
네,
asked
대진
Rush,
선택 이후에
how do you feel
경선을
about
좀
this
많이 했는데
round of 8 bracket
많이
when
올라온 것
she
같아서
did the
제 자신한테
group
좀 기대가
selection?
되는 그런
And
네,
Rush
이번
said
시즌
he
이
kind
이재명
of
씨가
likes it
선수의 스토리가
because
만들어지면서
he
많은
wanted to
분들이
play
오늘의
against
매치에 더욱더
he wanted to play
있습니다.
against Soma,
현재
and
유영진
now
선수가
dream
생각하는
became true.
박상현 선수의 실력을
They're gonna be played in
좀
round of 8.
저거 중에 일단
How would you
한
value
점을
Soma
뭐
of his
탑3 안에 든다고
Zerg versus Terra
생각하고
matchup?
정말 잘한다고
And he
생각하기
says
때문에
his ZVT
어떻게
pretty
이겨야
much in
될지
top
고민을 많이
3,
했고
top
연습도
3,
정말 많이
top
해가지고 오늘
top 3
좋은 경기 할수
pretty
있을
much
것
a best Zerg.
박상현 선수는
So
또
good at
준우승까지
Zerg versus
차지해본
Terra
경험이
matchup.
있는 선수이기 때문에 이 8강을 넘어 4강까지 좀 올라가고 싶은 마음이 드실 것 같은데 오늘 유영진 선수와의 경기를
So
준비하면서
Soma, you have been climbing up higher from the previous seasons,
테란전
and you got a second place before. And I'm pretty sure you would like to climb up higher this time once again.
빌드에 딱히 맞춤이 없는 것 같아요 테란이. 그래서
And he's talking about
빌드를 준비할 수
he's
있을지 기대되고 영진이 형.
Zerg versus Terran, that he
트위치랑
has been innovating or reinventing of this two-hatch Mira into macro style, sometimes all-in style, any sort of play style that he just kind of using it as a flexible strategy with this two-hatch Mira. And he thinks he's excited to see how
긴장하면은
Rush is gonna be
긴장하면
showing
상대적으로
to
이길 것
Soma.
같다. 상대가 긴장한다면 유영진 선수 긴장하셨나요?
So Soma says if
저는 제가 첫 세트
Soma
이기면
says
안
if he
돼요.
wins his first game, he thinks he's
이
just gonna win this best of 5 series super easy.
알겠습니다.
And he thinks
자신감이 굉장히 넘쳐 보입니다.
Rush
오늘
is
어떤
feeling
경기가
nervous this
펼쳐질지
best of 5
기대되는데요.
series.
끝으로 두 선수의
And Rush said
각오를
he's not feeling
들어보겠습니다.
nervous.
박상현 선수.
If he wins his first game, Rush thinks he's also gonna be winning this best of 5 series 3-0.
보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
And any last word?
네,
Soma
유영진
says,
선수 한 말씀
I'll
해주시죠.
show you the high quality of
8강은
Zerg vs
세
Terra matchup.
번째인데 오늘 꼭
And this
처음부터
for Rush,
4강 한번 가보도록 하겠습니다.
this is my third time making it into
멋진 8강 경기
quarterfinal round of 8.
인터뷰 고맙습니다.
I would like
감사합니다.
to go up higher, as he
자, 이렇게
says.
8강 세 번째 경기를 앞두고 있는 두 선수와 함께
So thank you for the interview.
과연
We have been
어떤 선수가 4강에 남은
wrapping up
자리를
and
차지하게
finishing
될지
up the interview.
박상현 선수와 유영진
We are
선수의
excited
경기
to see
지금부터 함께 만나보겠습니다.
how they're gonna be played in this best of 5 series. We'll be watching how they're gonna be played momentarily.
Yep, thank you for the translation scan. And just like in previous round of 8 matches, we heard from the players. Game 1 obviously super important, and actually they think that they're going to win easily if they win Game 1. Getting a look at the rundown of key points here.
Yeah, the key points. We can see Soma has been playing so well, but we can see he said his Zerg versus Terra matchup is kind of like the top 3 level Zerg, but his best of 5 series of Zerg versus Terra matchup, he lost 2-0 all the time. So that's a little bit of odd. But we're also looking at his stats that he has 100% win rate of this best of 5 series in quarterfinal, season 9 and season 10. And also, Rush is also losing his best of 5 series 2-0. So he hasn't won any of the best of 5 series yet. And here's another point of the match. This is gonna be their 314th times of playing each other in this 2021. Who is gonna be the winner for the ASL? And Soma's ZVT is excellent. He has been showing all those reinventing of that 2H Mira. How is he gonna be performing? We are excited to see how well he's gonna be showing, or what kind of strategy he will be showing to us. And Rush has been surviving from those wild card two seasons in a row, and now I think it is time for him to actually achieve that seeded player for the next season. So he needs to actually break his limit going up into semifinal. And we're also going to be looking at this map list.
So we've got wide open map to start us off with Largo, then Revolver, then everybody's favorite standard map, I think, Polypoid. Then we've got my favorite map these days, Lemon, and then finally we're going to finish off on Good Night. And I saw in one of the previous slides that the title of the slide was actually, "This is the real Terran versus Zerg matchup." So the people that have been making these slides are aware of the rivalry here, even mentioning the 314 games in 2021. Let's get a look at the statistics. Ooh, not the greatest versus Terran, but you can see there's really not that many games played. Only 14.
Yeah. His Zerg versus Protoss is definitely looking great, I would say. And even though Soma's win rate seems so low against Terran, but remember, he beat Flash's Random in a season ago or 2 seasons ago, I believe. So yeah, you cannot underestimate Soma's level. Like, he beat Flash's Terran on Optimizer, I believe, with the crazy Zerg style.
Yeah, and I think when I went to Spawn Bong and looked up Soma's stats, I think his best matchup was actually Zerg versus Terran online. I have to recheck that. We're getting a look at Rush's stats. This is a bit surprising to me. Just a 39% win rate versus Zerg. Now, Rush has only been in like the latest ASLs, right? Like ASL 8, 9, 10, 11, and so on. I don't think he played in the early ASLs, did he?
No, he did play. He did play all the ASLs.
He did.
I think he didn't play the ASL season 1, but he pretty much qualified all the time for season 2 to all the way to now.
Okay, well,
So-
it's...
So I think during the ASL season 1, I think he was doing his military service, and he came back to play StarCraft in season 2, but he immediately made it into ASL. He qualified the ASL. But I guess some players are ready. We're going to be moving into game number 1 momentarily. It is going to be played on Largo.
Okay, in the bottom left are yellow Zerg. It is Soma. And then in the top right are green Terran player. It is Rush. Now, I've seen a lot of games from Rush, and this guy is hyper aggressive all the time. I actually think we might see fireworks from the get-go, seeing something like an 8 racks. But assuming we get into a standard game, how does Terran play out on here, Terran versus Zerg?
Largo, I heard it's kind of more likely a favor towards to a race that has more advantage against the opponent. So you know how those triangle shape of a Terran versus Zerg, like Terran is favored playing against Zerg, and Zerg is also favored playing against Protoss. Protoss is always gonna have favor playing against Terran, and this is the map. It's kind of like that. So Largo, of course, Terran is gonna have the favorite in this type of map because there's not much of an overlay placement to put and get to see some M&M where it's coming out from. But before that, we're gonna be seeing the 8 racks, the mid 8 racks incoming by Rush.
Yeah, and this is just typical Rush. I've seen so many games from him because I casted them, and a lot of times he loves to start off the series with an aggressive play. Doesn't necessarily have to be an 8 racks. I've even seen him play a 7 racks, but he loves to set the pace of the game, so no shocker for me to see this. Now remember, Soma has been innovating all different types of openers. This time it is just going to be the typical 12 hatch. Now I'm trying to think back to other games we saw in ASL. Most of the time it's just been a typical follow-up with the 10 gas or 11 gas and 10 pool. But we did see, I think, Hero build a couple extra drones. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled to see if Soma goes for it. Looks like he's not. He's just going to go for the normal 11 pool, 10 gas. This is exactly what you want versus an 8 racks.
So we are gonna be seeing Rush gonna be doing the 8 racks into 111 most likely, because whenever you're doing the mid 8 racks, your barracks is just way too far away from your main base, and you kind of have to rely on your tech, and that's what he's aiming for. Here's the Marine coming out, and the drone will be spotting those 2 Marine, but that reaction seems a bit too slow, and drone gets picked off.
Yeah, and that's, you know, a big deal. It's going to be one less drone, obviously. It's not going to be coming from the back. There's not great area for him to drill on if Rush comes from the top direction. So this is already fantastic for Rush. Now here comes those SCVs and Marines. Only 5 drones pulled. Okay, 6 now. Good stutter step micro from Rush. Almost gets caught. Okay, he's going to lose 1 Marine. And he might lose his 2nd Marine. Nice control on that drone to save it. And actually, this was fantastic by Soma. He shuts down 2 Marines, soon to be 3 Marines, while only losing 2 drones, I think.
And we are also looking at the resource. Soma has been mining the gas with 1 drone only. So I think he's trying to tech up ASAP whenever he has 100 mineral. Oh, wait a minute, this is a Hydra Den.
Hydra Den. Well, I'm sure Soma has seen all the games in ASL. Lately, people have been forward raxing quite far. And because he scouted the center of the map, even though he didn't see the barracks, I don't think, he knows that, well, that Marine could not possibly be that far out on the map that fast. So Hydra Den's going to be a nice follow-up because, of course, this is going to be tech behind it. And this is actually one base play because Rush going into the starport.
I'm a little bit worried about Soma's decision making here because he only pulled out 6 drones but lost only 2 drones and defended that 3 Marine with the 2 SCV aggression by Rush. And Rush also didn't afford too many Marines here. Oh, he does get to see the Hydra Den at the last vision.
Yeah, that is critical for Rush. He does see the Hydra pop out, so he knows what's going on. And he knows that this is not like a lair into a Hydra Den. This is pretty much just 2 base Hydras. And we'll have to see if Soma is actually going to power out of this or what this is intending to be. I think this is actually going to be for something like, 973 in the sense that it's going to be some Hydra pressure build and then macro out of it. We'll see what Soma opts for. Wraith? No, it's not Wraith. 2 vultures moving across the map.
Yeah, there are 2 vultures are coming and we'll be checking. The 2 Hydralisks will be standing at the natural, and Rush also knows the Hydralisks are out on the map, so he's not gonna be rushing into an expansion. He's just gonna be having that single bunker with maybe 1 or 2 Marine inside. But whenever he gets to see more Zergling, more Hydralisks are coming out. Okay, he does get to see more Hydralisks just came out, and now the Hydralisk speed is done. So now what Rush should be thinking about for the next step is getting all those spider mines research on the way and start putting in the middle of the map so he can cut off the reinforcement. And also, there's no reason, absolutely no reason to take the command center right now. He should be just affording another supply depot at the main base and constantly making more of a units.
Okay, well, what he does need to do is at least bring a couple SCVs to try and repair this bunker, because it's going to be like 8 Hydras, a couple Lings, and just a single bunker with vultures in the back trying to dish out some damage. So that bunker is quite vulnerable. Now we have to point out that a couple Hydras are dangerously low, so they could pop pretty fast. And actually picking off those 2 vultures is a big deal, because now there's not going to be any mines. So let's see what these Hydras can do. Are they going to run by? They focus down one of the SCVs, focus down almost two of the SCVs. Bunker is going to fall. And Soma, did he bust him with this?
I think he's gonna bust this natural, and I think Rush made a bad choice here that he didn't pull much of a SCV. But I wonder what the next follow-up is for Rush. I don't see him making a single siege tank or vulture production. Okay, these Hydralisks is just about to pick up a lot of SCVs here, and now the single siege tank just came out, so that's a good sign. But Rush might be a completely all-in, but he still has done a lot of great damage. And Rush, I would say this is more likely a good choice for Soma. He has a flare tech on the way too.
Yeah, Soma's gonna transition out of this. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some drones come in. I mean, he could actually just keep going for it because he knows there's only 2 production buildings, the barracks and the factory, and he is just gonna run by these Marines. He's gonna try and get that tank, but second tank pops out. That might save the day. Maybe Hydra's gonna try and jump on this tank. The tank is already super low. SCVs are trying to be heroes, and I think they are going to save it for now. 1 hit, so close. But SCVs are still dying at the natural because he gets that command center, or that command center building SCV focused down. Now mines are out, but the Overlord's here.
Yeah, those siege tank should have been a spider mine research ahead of time, but getting the spider mine research now and the single siege tank and just try to harass from the distance, not gonna help him so much. And here's the mine drag.
Oh my gosh, you don't see that often. And he just types out. And so this aggressive opener from Rush, where he kills the initial drone, then kills 2 more drones, and sees the Hydras coming, still unable to put up the correct response, and Soma's going to take game 1.
I think Rush is feeling a bit nervous because, I mean, everything he's so ahead. Like, you just have to defend the Hydra that's all in, and that shouldn't be too hard. But I think he was misread the information what Soma was actually doing. And he didn't pull much of SCV there, and that just pretty much led Soma to kill the bunker.
Yeah, as spectators, of course, we see everything going on. When I saw 6 SCVs come down, I actually thought that was enough, but apparently not enough. He needed something like 8. And unfortunately, Rush just pretty much instantly loses. And Soma's, remember in the interview, he said if he wins game 1, he's going to win the series easily. So let's find out if that's going to be the case, because we're going to be going into a break pretty soon, and then we'll be coming back with game 2. Well, I don't know if we're going to go to a break, because that was actually so fast.
Well, who knows? That's so sad to watch. As I'm Terran, and you're also Terran. You probably also feel sad about looking at how Rush was not able to hold that easy pressure. But I guess Soma was doing so well here, and we are gonna be most likely moving into revolver for the second game. But I think we'll be looking at this replay.
Yeah, so we can see the vultures get picked off. So see, he sees that it's a decent amount of hydras already there. 5 SCVs were actually pulled. I thought this was enough, and this is a full bunker. Back when 111 was a thing, Flash loved to just put a full surround on the bunker when hydras came, because he knew if he just repairs it, he's going to win. So unfortunately, it was just not enough. A couple more SCVs would have held it, and there's a hydra there that's super low, so he easily could have held this, and Soma was pretty much all in. Look at this. Even though he's lost that many SCVs, he's still up in SCV, so that tells you how committed Soma was with this attack. But we're going to go into that bingo now.
Well, some people wonder about bingo. I'll just let this sound to hear it. So we'll be coming back soon.
징크스가 아니라고 생각할 수도 있는데 연습을 안 하면 불안하더라고요. 사실 연습을 안 해도 실력이 확 줄진 않거든요. 좀 심리적인 그런 것 때문에 자신감도 없어져서 못 이기더라고요. 공부할 때부터 제가 공부를 오래 했는데 항상 수능 볼 때 자신감이 없었어요. 왜냐하면 열심히 안 했어가지고 그때부터 뭔가 생긴 강박 같은 건데 해결해 보려고 연습을 안 해봤는데 결과가 항상 좋지 못하더라고요. 그 다음에 이제 영화. 장르는 사실 따지지 않고 기생충 같이 상류층으로 가고 싶어하는 약간 저 같은 그런 영화 보면은 뭔가 감정이입도 되고 재밌더라고요. 앞서 말씀드린 기생충하고 그다음에 타이타닉 그리고 오징어 게임 보겠습니다. 일주일 동안 타이타닉을 보고 슬퍼가지고 휴유증이 있었거든요. 고등학생 때. 이게 진짜 사랑이구나 배웠는데 지금 찾았습니다. 이거 ASL 출근길을 안 할 수가 없네요. 제가 광주 사는데 ASL 출근하는 게 이게 보통 일이 정말 아니거든요. 빨리 일어나서 와야 돼가지고 항상 피곤하거든요. 오늘 같은 경우는 이제 새벽 5시에 서울 와서 호텔 가서 자고 지금 온 거예요. 해볼 수가 없었어요. 왜냐면 이제 계좌를 보면 그런 생각이 안 나더라고요. 명훈이 형이 서울 올라가기 한 달 전에 같이 이제 쭉 광주에서 지내자 이렇게 했는데
서울 생활이 좋은 거는 그래도 여자친구랑 가까이 지내가지고
어느새 올라갔더라고요. 부럽다기보다는 약간 서운해요. 광주의 무등산에서 백숙 먹던 그런 추억이 있거든요. 명훈이 형 요새 경기력 너무 안 좋은데 광주로 다시 오세요. 고라인.
저가 테란이고 짭제가 적은데
이제 지성이가 없었으면은 스타판에서 더 외로웠을 것 같은데 같이 군대도 안 가주고 동갑이고 그래서 안도감도 들고요. 덕이는 연습 열심히 해서 같이 경쟁했으면 좋겠어요. 이광용이라는 친구가 있거든요. 제가 준우승 했을 때 다음 ASL에서 만나자고 했던 친구인데 잘 있나 모르겠네요. 오늘 뭔가 하면서 좀 자신감을 얻었거든요. 긴장이 되긴 하는데 손은 똑같이 잘 움직이더라고요. 연습만 많이 제가 해온다면은 진짜 재밌는 게임 보여드릴 수 있을 것 같습니다. 응원해주시는 분들이 있어가지고 동기부여가 많이 되거든요. 그래서 너무 고맙고 실망시키지 않는 모습 보여드리겠습니다.
안녕하세요. 8강에 마지막으로 진출을 하게 된 유영진입니다. 지금은 맛집대로 가고 있는 것 같아요. 오늘
휴대폰자 중에 가장 약해 보여요. 갑자기
저도 영진이랑 하고 싶네요.
김민철한테도 맛집 취급을 당했었는데 정말 맛집처럼 져버렸고 제가 진짜로 4강을 가본 적이 없이 와카준에서 계속 올라가다 보니까 그런 것도 있는 것 같아서 이번에 꼭 시드 자리 따도록 하겠습니다. 김유정 라인 중에서 제가 그래도 8강에 3번 연속으로 올라가기도 했고 그래가지고 아직은 제가 1등 같은데 만날 일은 없을 것 같은데 둘 중 하나는 먼저 떨어지지 않을까 싶은데 만나려면은 박상현 선수가 아니라 김지성 선수가 걸렸어야 될 것 같은데 둘 다 잘해가지고 최대한 높이 올라갔으면 좋겠습니다. 뭔가 할 게 별로 없네. 일단 저는 그 두 시즌 와카를 할 때 둘 다 제가 좀 올라갈 수 있는 라인업인가라는 의문을 되게 많이 심었었어요. 뭔가 구멍이 하나도 없고 거기서 1등을 해야만 올라갈 수 있기 때문에 엄청 힘들다 생각을 했는데 그래도 떨어져도 다음 기회가 있다는 생각을 가지고 있어가지고 좀 편하게 하니까 잘 이겨서 올라갔던 것 같아요. 아니요, 오늘은 좀 너무 이기고 싶어서 오히려 그게 좀 역효과로 나온 것 같아요. 지금 마음을 좀 비워야 될 것 같아요, 저번처럼. 오늘은 너무 이기고 싶었어요, 김민철 선수를. 와일드카드는 당일에 출산을 할까봐 고민을 하다가 참가를 해서 올라간 다음에 출산을 했거든요. 제가 만약에 와일드카드를 못 올라갔으면은 산후조리를 하나도 못 해주고 좀 같이 못 있어주고 바로 예선을 해야 될 시기였어가지고 정말 올라가서 다행이었던 것 같아요. 아빠가 되고 아기가 나오고 이제 그런 다음에 첫 시즌은 감회가 새롭거든요. 꼭 우승을 하고 싶고 더 잘하고 싶고 근데 그게 너무 크면 또 경기력에 악영향을 미치는 것 같아서 좀 조절할 생각입니다. 옆에서 내조 잘해줘서 고맙고 열심히 애기 잘 키워보자. 사랑해.
오늘 좀 뽑아주실 때 저그를 좀 뽑아주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
박상현 선수.
그 저그전에 자신이 있다기보다는 저그전을 극복하지 못하면은 아무것도 되지 않을 것 같아서 꼭 만나서 이기고 싶어서 저그를 뽑아달라는 건데
8강 C조 유영진 선수가 뽑혔습니다.
준비 잘해가지고 이번에는 다른 모습을 보여드릴 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
All right, guys, I hope you liked that bingo session. It was pretty interesting, especially that 95 line. I don't know, it just pained me to know that I'm almost 10 years older than Soma and...
Well, I'm in 93 line.
Oh my gosh, seven years older than you. Oh, but that also reminds me because Sari was on SKT, and that was like 10 years ago. So he was like 15 or so when he joined SKT. So must have been super monster mode back then, and of course he's big time monster now. But we're going to be getting into game 2, an unfortunate loss for Rush in the first game. And it looks like Soma, I mean, just like Soulkid the other day, he's just stone-faced.
Yeah, Soma, those mind game like not showing, and he also didn't cancel the extractor. Normally, whenever you see Arax, oh, I saw Arax, I gotta pull maybe like 9 to 10 drones and also cancel my extractor and gotta defend the Arax first before doing sort of a gas, heavy gas play style, and he just pulled 6 drone, and that drone micro was excellent, I would say.
Yeah, it was really good. I thought when he lost the first drone in the beginning and then only pulled 6, I was like, well, this is a disaster because it's really hard to stop an 8-Rax, and it feels like you didn't pull enough drones, but the control was fantastic, and he even saved one of the drones. That was amazing. So, game 2 is ready, guys. Let's see if Rush can bring it back to 1-1 or put Soma on match point potentially. Okay, in the top left, our blue Zerg up 1-0. It is Soma. And in the bottom left, our red Terran player, it is Rush. And as I mentioned before, seen a ton of games from Rush. And he is not somebody that 8-Raxes twice in a row, in my experience watching his games. So I think Soma can kind of discredit that in this particular map. But we do see, or we do know that Revolver is one of the maps that has insane rush positions, super close vertically. And that's actually what we got here. So if Rush was to go for an 8-Rax, it would be fantastic on this particular scenario.
We're also looking at the status information of this Revolver. Zerg has 1 win and 2 losses on Revolver. So Terran is definitely leading the score, but still it's a small data. Okay, we are going to be seeing Rush, going to be building a depot at the main base, and not making a depot at the Natcher instead.
So it is just going to be standard placement so far. Meanwhile, we are just going to have to wait and see what Soma wants to opt for. Ooh, is that going to be an overpool?
Yes, it is.
Okay, overpool. So what do you think this means? I mean, it's Soma. It could be anything, right?
Well, I think he would just go for standard overpull into 2 hatchery into maybe extractor. Before making 6 Zergling, I think he would be making extractor before 6 Zergling. That's my personal thought and how he's gonna be doing. And recently Soma has figured out, or I guess his stream viewers kind of gave him an advice that you can actually do the mining boost for the left side too. So if you look at the bottom of the second mineral, he's actually doing the manual mineral boost there, and he's also boosting up the mineral there.
Well, that's a key thing to note right there. I'm surprised that a guy in the chat, as Artosis calls him, able to give a pro some advice. So we'll see if that, or well, it's definitely going to come into play. I mean, mineral boosting is a big deal. There is the hatchery, and this is what I was waiting to see, because, you know, remember the games on Eclipse we've seen this season where people have opened with the fast pool. They've gone into a third hatch on location. I didn't think we were going to see it on Revolver, because where are you going to put it? Top middle seems like not the ideal place, but I think Soma might actually take a third base at top right. Look at that. He actually had 2 drones out on the map.
I think he's just gonna take the top right of the natural expansion because there's a high ground advantage, and we see Rush. That was his first scout. That wasn't the double scout SCV by Rush, so Rush is gonna be knowing, and Soma also gonna be knowing Rush is located at the bottom side, and there's a high ground command center. He will be able to check it.
Yep, he sees the command center, so that's fantastic. He knows that it's not a gas opener, no tech opener. Now, okay, it's crucial that this drone sits here. Oh my gosh, this is so tilting, because as an observer, I see what's going on, obviously. Rush has no idea what this is. So I don't think top right's ever going to get scouted, and he's going to think this is just a standard 2-hatch opener.
Well, I have a feeling he might still gonna go for the scout because if he has prepared playing on Revolver so many games and have all those experience, like thinking about what Zerg kind of likes to do, he should be checking that third expansion, but I think he's not checking that expansion yet, so he doesn't have any intel so far. Soma is finally getting the extractor. Still no lair tech at 3 minutes 50 seconds, so I think this might be still a good news for Rush because he's doing the regular 2 racks into refinery, and he's gonna get the academy up as well. And if he realized the Zergling speed seems too slow, okay, that has to be 3 hatch somewhere.
Well, we'll see if he reads that correctly. He is going to land his command center. And as you mentioned, this is just standard 2 racks follow-up with Academy. Now, as a Terran player, if I lose this game and I watch the replay and see that top right just gets away with murder, meaning he doesn't build any Sunkens, I'm going to be on life tilt going into Game 3. We do see Sunken is going down in the natural, but the SCV doesn't see it.
Yeah, the SCV doesn't see it, but he also knows Zergling speed is also also so slow, and there's a bunker because he doesn't have any intel. So I think Rush is just feeling a little bit nervous with the mind game that Rush might get Zergling Rush by Soma, so he's just trying to play safe here. He will be rotating one of the SCV. Okay, Zergling still doesn't have the speed link yet. So Rush is sending that SCV towards the top right, so that's a good news.
Yeah, well, that's good news, but he still has to actually scout that position. He does see, as you mentioned, that there's still no speed. He thought that there could have been, I guess, a potential bust because he built that additional bunker, and this was crucial for Rush to find. And now Soma's going to scramble to get up a Sunken because a lot of times you see Terran moving out right now, and that's exactly the case. 520 move out. Let's see if Rush can get any damage done. I noticed that his academy was a little slow, so there's actually no medics out right now.
I kind of like how he's just still moving out with this pure marine here. Okay, there's the 2 medic follow-up, but also got to be careful. This is a high ground Sunken, so you got to be careful whenever you're moving up. But I think Rush is just probably going to be focusing on doing the pressure. Maybe adding up another barracks, most likely 3 barracks into a factory. And whenever you do 3 barracks into a factory, you can pretty much get that technology really fast before missile turret starts. Because we can see Soma has spent those money for the sunken colony. Okay, that one overlord is out of position here.
Yeah, that's actually a big deal because it's going to supply block him, and he was about to have his Spire completed. So mutas are not going to be coming out in high numbers. And I was going to ask you, what's your follow-up when you see this? And you answered, it's going to be fast tech. I mean, Rush forced out 8 Sunkens. That's crazy for that simple move out. So nicely done from Rush, even though he doesn't deny top right. He forces 8 drones to be lost. So much lost mining time. And what looked like was possibly going to be Crazy Zerg, I don't see an evolution chamber anywhere. So I don't think this can be Crazy Zerg anymore. Wow, that's a super fast Queen's Nest. What's that building actually in top left of Soma's main? I mean, it has to be the evolution chamber, right?
I think so, yeah. Maybe it can be still hydrogen and go for maybe making a couple of lurkers at every natural. So that could be one of the case, but I would like to see about the observer. Okay, finally shows the main base. That's an evolution chamber, not the hydrogen. And here's one thing that I would like to explain about the taking another base with a 3 hatchery opening. The classic of a 3 hatchery opening in the past, you had to start your second guess immediately as soon as your Zergling speed, the metabolic boost starts. But nowadays with this how should I say it? Another spawning location taking another base with this 3 hatchery opening, you cannot delay your second guess as much as you can, so you can have more mineral income, and so you can afford more of a sunken colony here and there. And that's what he pretty much did. We can see Soma finally start mining the 3rd gas here, but also doing some harassment with the 8 Nicolas. Nice pickup.
Yeah, he's gonna get the turret, and he killed a handful of SCVs. That's nicely done. He also stalled the starport, so that means the science facility is going to be a little late. It's going to stall his +2 potentially. I am paying close attention to when either player gets +1 weapon for Terran or +1 armor, because of course this all hinges on the +2 armor timing for Zerg. If they hit +4 before Terran hits +2, Terran's in trouble. Now I love how Soma is taking a 4th base. This feels so punishing. Just instantly be on 4 base with good econ, with obviously a lot of gas. But Rush has really nailed his build. His science facility is going to be completing pretty soon. Mutas come into the natural, just going to be annoying. Take down a couple of SCVs, and there is that Ultra Cavern.
Maybe this might be one of the strategy where you can make maybe 2 queens, but I guess he's not going to be going for 2 queens for the ensnare. He will be just immediately going to go for Guardian, but I'm not sure about this Guardian switch.
I'm a huge fan of Guardians. As mentioned last week when we saw, what was it, Soul Key use it to defend. I love morphing like 3 or 4 Guardians because then it forces Terran to use all their irradiate energy. I don't necessarily think he needs to build 9 or how many Mutilas he has, but I think this is great. Also, in case Terran has some unstoppable force that can't be taken out by Sunkens, I think this is a good answer. Now we have dropships coming out, and it's going to be dangerous because those could have been vessels, and you definitely need them versus Guardians or Ultras.
Ooh, Soma is definitely aware of that drop, so he does have some Scourges at the main base and at the natural as well. And interestingly, I guess he just knows everything. He's already putting down the 1 sunken colony at the main base here too. And for some reason, I mean, he should be thinking, Soma should be thinking, oh, for some reason, Rush is bringing some army towards the 12 o'clock side. So that has to be something.
Yep, and it is something. It is a double drop. And, oh, is it actually already loaded up? I'm shocked. Okay, he did actually load it up, but... Oh my gosh, 1 survives, 1 unloads. However, there's like 6 Guardians completed with 1 sunken support. I don't think that the Marines can actually kill this. And yeah, Rush was not expecting Guardians. This is why I love the Guardians, even if it's just a couple. It helps you with defending so well. He takes minimal losses. He even morphed Guardians at top right. So if Rush even hooks around there, he's going to be denied there too. And Zerg is already on 4 gases at the 11-minute mark.
I'm trying to remember how many Zerglings Soma actually made in this game. He made 6 in the beginning, and that's all he did. And like, he has been making a bunch of drone, muta all day. and he just made a couple of scourges and to defend this dropship. And now he got the Guardian to stop pretty much the M&M force. Oh, the dropship gets picked up in the middle of the map, so that's a little bit crucial. I'm not sure it was fully loaded or whatnot, but we see finally Rush is moving into the late game here with the taking another expansion, working on the 2-1 upgrade.
And you said it perfectly. He built Sixlings and then just built Sunkens and Mutas. And I actually can't wait to see Artosis watch this game, because you know that's exactly what he's going to say. He just sat there. He just built Sunkens and built Guardians and built Ultras. So I'm excited to see his reaction. But Rush has a massive army moving to top right. And he has 4 vessels, which is pretty darn high for being 12 minutes. And we know he already built 2 dropships already. 1 vessel might get taken out, but there's not much defense other than these 8 Sunkens. Okay, Ultras are going to try and come in here, but actually they're going to get body blocked by these Sunkens, I think.
I'm not sure about this busting because a lot of Marine Force, probably like almost 2 groups of Marine just died while he's busting the net. I saw the Marine Force had a 1-1 upgrade.
Oh, yeah, +2.
He just got +2, so that's a good timing.
Yeah, and Zerg does not have +2, so this is the timing to go. Guardians are way out of position. This might have been Rush's moment. There's only 1 Ultra left over, only 2 Sunkens.
I think he should focus that Nidus Canal.
Yeah, he's got to focus the Nidus Canal, but he also has to be careful about the Guardians coming in the back. Do any of these vessels have energy? Still no +4 armor for the Ultras.
Well, I think he has done it. He busted. Soma does have a lot of minerals, but he can't really do anything.
Yeah, he busted, and these Guardians don't have armor. They don't have weapon either, and the +1 armor for the Marines are helping a lot. And actually, look at Rush. He's just streaming units nonstop. That's a drone pull, and somehow, some way, he strikes right before Soma hits +4. Maybe not right before, because he still doesn't have +4.
Oh, I think the Evolution Chamber was a little too late for Soma, I would say. Okay, the +4 just now kicked in, so that's a good sign. Whenever the upgrade is matching, that's a good sign for Zerg to hold this M&M pressure. But still, I'm pretty sure Rush is gonna be ahead with the +3 attack upgrade before the +3 armor.
Oh yeah, as long as he clicked it, he's got a good minute or so lead on that +5 armor spike, and you know Rush is aware of that. Now, he did lose a couple of vessels, which obviously are expensive, but now Zerg is reset back down to 3 gas, and he lost a lot of Ultras there. He also lost a lot of Guardians. That's a lot of gas that is not in his army anymore. He was floating 2,000 minerals, but you can see that he's basically gas starved, and this is a triple expand. He's taking top, middle, both of them, and retaking the nat at top right.
I think Rush is on point where he's just macroing really well. He has 9 barracks and he's just constantly doing the macro. Okay, that's a double nice irradiate, but the irradiate is pretty much killing the own Marine at the same time, so that wasn't a great trade, I would say. But still, the Marine medic force is still a lot. That's the majority of the medics that still survive, and more M&M is coming.
Yeah, and the Marines don't stop, because look at this. He sent another round, and he's sending another round. It's just a non-stop red line sent diagonally to top right. And Rush, he's killing it on the macro. Look at his minerals. I mean, it's just permanently below 300, 400 minerals. Now, that army gets wiped out. But as I stated, there's more Marines to come. This is like 30 or 40 more Marines. Another round of reinforcements coming. It's just non-stop.
I think this is also a good way of doing the pressure, but I think Rush needs to take some big breath and wait a little bit and try to secure his M&M ball. I mean, if he doesn't snowball this M&M ball in the middle of the map, constantly getting all those Marine medic balls smaller and smaller, that's not gonna help him to fight in the bigger fight later on. Okay, so just let him to have that 4th gas and try to look for another gas like the 5th gas and the 6th gas. If he lets Soma to take those triple gas right now, he really wants to take like 6 gas total. That's just gonna be completely disaster for Rush.
Yeah, now +2 armor kicked in for Rush. That means +3 weapon should be close. Now, he is consistently building more vessels. This is not a BC switch. We don't see a 4th base for Rush. He needs to start thinking about it, because of course 17 to 18 minutes is when bases get mined out for Terran. So he definitely needs to start thinking about one soon. There's like 8 Sunkens defending top right now, and we do see Soma did take that 5th gas at top middle, But this is just so much bio. It's a 60 supply lead.
Yeah, that's definitely a great macro. What's going on? Rush is going to be constantly going for the attack here, but he does have the upgrade advantage. But at the same time, there are the 2 low HP still harassing the 7 o'clock, the third base. I think if Rush fails this pressure, and okay, that's a lot of Marine Medic forces coming from the middle.
Yeah, that is a ton of Marine Medic. This initial Marine Medic ball kind of fizzling out, but the D-Matrix Marine in the front soaking up so many hits. Now it's only a 30 supply lead though for Rush, and those 2 ultras at bottom middle I see have denied that base for a long time. We can see an Eraser coming in to try and support this. He's going to try and get rid of all of these drones.
Okay, finally he did notice the third expansion was getting harassed by the 2 ultras. Okay, we see Soma finally realized there was Eraser and borrowing.
Everywhere.
And at the same time, there's another one group of Marine Force taking down another expansion at the 12 o'clock side, so that's a good news.
Yeah, and this is why I like to watch Rush Terran versus Zerg, because as I stated in previous seasons, specifically last season, I was waiting to see him on Hidden Track. He brings it to you nonstop. He's all over the place. You can see he's top right, he's top middle, he's at bottom middle. He has reinforcements coming again to top right, and he's crushing it in the macro. And now I think he's broken Soma's back here. It's 140 supply to just 75.
And I would like to point out of this map that the natural Vespene gas is only 4,000. That means it is the natural gas is going to be depleted much earlier than the regular map compared to the regular map. And I think Soma in maybe next couple minutes, I think he's just going to be starving with Vespene gas.
Yeah, he is going to be starving on Vespene gas, and he did hide another base at mid-right. Unfortunately, he just can't get anything up and running. Well, I was going to say a small Ling Ultra attack, but actually that's not small at all. +5 has not kicked in. +3 has kicked in for these Marines, so they may actually be able to clean up all of these Ultras. Looks like just barely not going to. But as I mentioned, these bases are mining out for Terran. Main is mined out. Natural is close to mined out. The vessel count is super high though, but Rush still does need to get a base, but I mean, is Soma really mining anywhere other than his main? Not really.
Not really, I would say. And yeah, Soma is losing a lot of mining time. I think the Eraser is about like 50 seconds long. What's the duration of the irradiator?
Yeah, I actually don't know. I think 50 seconds feels like a freaking long time. Maybe 30, but it's quite long. And this base is going to die, and a couple more vessels fall, but it doesn't matter at this point because Rush has done it. He's secured his third base. Soma can't secure anything. Finally, +5 kicks in, but too little, too late. This is probably going to be the last attack Soma goes for, and we're probably going to see a tap out.
We also need to look at the minimap that Rush's natural is completely mined out. So right now, Rush is mining with the one base here. Here's some Ultralists will be going for the counter attack, but I'm not sure whether this is going to be worth it. He lifted his command center to take the 9 o'clock expansion.
Yeah, he is going to take the 9 o'clock expansion. And so we're just waiting now. It's 150 to just 55. Base gets found again. Soma trying to hide another base at top middle. And unfortunately, this is not going to work out for him this time.
Yeah, we can also see Soma he was biting his mouth, or he was biting his tongue. I think he's shaking his head. What was my mistake from this game number 2? I think the GG should be coming out momentarily because he's pretty much on low eco. He can't really do anything with the low amount of Ultralists because every single vessel is just hurting his Ultralists everywhere.
Yep, so nicely done from Rush, because as a Terran watching it unfold, you're in panic mode, seeing them get 4 bases while only building Sunkens. Like, that's all he really had to build. Sure, he built some Guardians, but the Guardians traded quite cost effectively, like they were worth the money. And GG comes out and Rush, he's going to be feeling great after that one because he macroed like a god and just brought it to Soma.
Yeah, I think game number 1, he's still, with the strategy wise, Rush was on point. Like, he was ahead, I would say. Like, in my personal thought, like with the A-Rex into 1-1-1 strategy versus a Hydraless all-in, that should have been an easy like piece of cake for Rush to win that game. But I guess something just didn't go well for Rush and misread the information, and but he showed how confident he was with this game number 2 with the macro, and he never had more than 500 mineral in that game. Like he just constantly macro, and sent all of his army to the cross location to the 1 o'clock side and constantly busting that sunken line. That was an incredible move.
Yeah, if you're a Terran player and you want to watch a game where Terran nails their build in macro, that's the one. Because not only did he nail his macro, he hit 3-2 and he hit 3-3 armor perfectly afterwards. Meanwhile, building that vessel count nonstop. I mean, just absolutely perfect play from Rush. And I loved the strategy from Soma, but in the end, it ended up not working out. I'm curious what happened to the 4 Guardians that were at top right. I can't remember how they died.
Got erased by the 4 vessels.
Okay, so that's why he wasn't able to hold there. But don't go anywhere, guys. Polypoid is going to be coming up for Game 3.
Okay, here's a replay. And here's the question you asked us.
Yeah.
For Guardian, where is it? Well, it was actually 5 Guardians.
Yeah, I thought it was just 4, but still, I mean, 4 or 5, I mean, it's not really a big difference, but this was key because if you think about this, if you have Guardians here supporting the Sunkens, no way in hell that these Marines get through. Now, this is what I was talking about. These Sunkens, these Ultras can't get in because the Sunkens were body blocking. Also, the drones were body blocking. But as we mentioned, the +4 armor, that was the big mistake here. He should have easily had +4 by the 1230 mark.
Yeah, something miscalculated of the armor 4 upgrade for Soma. And that boss was excellent, like constantly sending the reinforcement. Look at that upgrade. The +2 armor is still not even done. It's not even like minute or later.
Yeah, it was just way too late, and you can see if you miss your timing even just slightly versus top tier players, whether they're Rush or Soma, it can be a disaster. It can be the difference between a win or a loss. Now, of course, we're going into the highlight of the series. We got the Hot 6 commercial. You know, actually, at my convenience store this week, it's buy one, get one. I almost bought 2 of the, was it the blue ones? I think that's Rush.
No, the teal one was Rush and the blue one was Power, I believe.
Well, I was going to buy 2 of them in support of ASL 12 champ Rush, but I ended up not doing that.
Yeah, looks like they're talking about this Hot 6 here. I guess this time the middle guy, Park Sang-hyun, he has a literally same Korean name with Soma.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also Soma's Korean name is Park Sang-hyun, and the middle guy, the commentator, his name is Park Sang-hyun too. Probably with the Chinese character might be different, but same name with the same pronunciation. So yeah, from game number 1, let's talk about more about game number 1.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What do you think if Rush has not put down the command center, maybe like put down the high ground command center and not putting down the bunker at the natural, or maybe something like holding off from the ramp? Do you think it would have been a different result, or maybe have a better result?
I don't know, because is Rush going to build a bunker at his ramp? Do you think he would build one there, or do you think he would try and hold with just Marines and SCVs?
I honestly don't know, but maybe making more, maybe making more of a Marine production and also putting some SCV for the SCV drill would have been better. Okay, they are now drinking Hot 6.
Of course, into the rain, gonna look at him. He's already done. I mean, yeah, in retrospect, obviously the better move was to build the command center on the high ground, but I have a feeling that Rush probably would have been feeling confident that, okay, I've got the ramp, I'm not going to build a bunker. I think, well, of course, if he builds a bunker there, then there's, if Soma commits to going up a ramp into a bunker with like SCVs in the front, I mean, he's a crazy person. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, because Zerg was all in, I think, yeah, obviously building it on the high ground was better, but I think I don't think Rush knew that it was a committed Hydra attack, right? Like, until after the command center was built.
Oh, I guess they're done. Okay, we'll be coming back soon.
All right, guys, we are back. We're going to be getting into Game 3 momentarily, but of course we got to talk about our ASL Tumblr.
유영진 선수의 대결 함께하고 계십니다.
Yeah.
첫 번째 세트에서는 박상현 선수가 이
she
다음을
is,
상대로 올인으로 승리를 거뒀고요. 이두
Summarizing out the game number 1 and game number 2, how Rush was being confident with his macro game from game number 2 and constantly sending his Eminem force and busting the sunken. That was excellent. And viewers out there probably watching this ASL, excited to watch who's going to be winning. And we're also doing the winner's prediction event. Go to ASL mainstream platform. You vote for the winner and also leaving a comment like cheer message. And if your prediction gets right and also gets selected by the ASL staff, you also get an ASL wallet. And they're also selling the ASL Season 12 jersey shirt. Go to Africa shop website. We are going to be moving into game number 3 momentarily. Who's going to be winning in game number 3 on polypoid?
Yeah, and I know a lot of Team Liquid people do like the ASL jerseys every single season, so definitely check that website to see if you can order one of them. But we are going to be going into Game 3. Remember that this map is going to be polypoid. It is 1-1. And Rush really looked very good on polypoid. And we were talking about Game 1 just before we went on the break. You remember Rush built a starport in Game 1, but did you really see him ever use it? I think the Wraith killed like one Overlord, maybe, and that was it.
Yeah, he did some damage, but I don't know how many kills he got with the single Wraith. But that Wraith was sitting at the 6 o'clock. It didn't do anything because his natural was getting busted, so he literally had no time to micro his Wraith. So he just left the Wraith at the 6 o'clock to set there, as Artosis say. And yeah, so now this is a Soma's pick for game number 3, polypoid.
Alright, game 3, guys, coming at us. Soma's pick, as Scan mentioned. Let's see who can take the 2-1 lead in this series. So in the top right are Blue Zerg, going for an interesting playstyle last game. It is Soma, and in the bottom left, pretty much the macro god, it is Rush. Now we've got cross spawns here. Everybody, of course, knows polypoid, and I know a lot about Rush, and he tends to be a bio player. But is it possible we could see something other than bio play from him?
Well, I kind of personally would like to see Arax one more time because Rush didn't do a great damage with the Arax, but everything was great. Like, everything was great by something miscalculated to repair his bunker on time. So that was a little bit unfortunate, but he also won with the macro, so why not just try out Arax once again and try to test himself.
Yeah, I actually was thinking we might see another 8-Rex game, but not going to be the case. I think if he had gotten bottom right, where he could proxy the Rex and also build a wall at his natural, I think 100% of the time he would have gone for it. But bottom left, not a position where you can wall. And again, we're going to have overpool from Soma, so he must be thinking that it's likely Rush is going to 8-Rex this time, and he's going to see that, well, not the case. Oh, whoa.
Overpool.
Overpool gas, and this is a committed gas.
I'm not sure what this is about, but I can think of two ways. Maybe he might just gonna go for overpull into super fast lair tech and taking an expansion at the same time. Or maybe he can just go for overpull speedling into an expansion.
Well, I am not the biggest fan of speedlings, but this type of build I find to be the hardest to deal with as Terran, because Lings are going to sit on the ramp, deny vision, and you're stuck wondering, is it lair? Like, is it lurkers? Is it spire? What is it? I think we might actually see a lurker bust this game, and my personal experience versus this is it is incredibly hard to stop.
Look at Rush's vision too. He hasn't done any scout yet. Okay, Barrack finishes. Now he's finally gonna go for the scout. Where's he gonna be sending that SCB torch to?
Okay, well, if he does a diagonal scout, I'm going to lose my mind. But the firstlings are out. Now, this is a weird scenario because even though Rush, well, let's say he doesn't get into the main. I mean, he's going to see that there's no natural. And it's like, well, dude, obviously you're committed to something. And that is going to be the Hydrogen. Okay, now, I don't know if I ever, well, I have seen this, but I don't know if I like this because he's not going to actually have a lot of larva available. Generally, the style, the lurker bus that I like is the 12 pool, take your hatchery and then go into, or go gas and then take a hatchery, and then just build lings nonstop. And then you can use the extra larva to build the hydras.
Okay, I think Rush is a little bit panicking here, pulling some CV. He does have a lot of marine, but I don't think, okay, he shouldn't be thinking that's just a total of 5-6 lings only. There are just more Zerg. Okay, now he pulled back. He just pulls back his SCB and not building a bunker. And there are already like 5-6 Zerglings standing at the net. Okay, there are a handful of Marines.
No. I think this is just going to start getting... Oh, wow!
Whoa!
Those lings glitched out on the ramp, and 4 Marines beat 6 lings somehow.
So I think they should be giving him intel. Oh, this has to be some sort of an all-in. So I think Rush should be definitely aware. Okay, he's immediately putting down the bunker, but I don't know if he got an intel where there's a hatchery at the net. But here is the Hydralisk finally moving out. No gas yet.
Yeah, I don't even know if this, like, if it matters whether Rush scouts or not. Like, he's not mining gas. He doesn't have an academy, which means he doesn't have a comsat. I don't think he can hold this because lurkers are going to be morphing in like 20 seconds. And that's going to put maybe like a 5-15 lurker bust at his natural.
Well, judging by the number of Zergling he just got to fight, he should be realizing he made 10 to 12 Zerglings but no speedling. Okay, there's a speedling. So this might gonna mislead information for Rush, but oh my god, there are 2 lurkers are already morphing. Another lurker should be morphing momentarily. Soma doesn't have enough money yet. Oh.
Now, we were talking about building command center on the high ground last game and potentially building a bunker on the high ground. Now, in this scenario, if Rush builds a bunker on the high ground, I think he wins this game. If there's no bunker on the high ground, I think the game ends in favor of Soma. There's just non-stop ling, non-stop lurker, but not a lot of larva available. Completely all in here. Academy, I think, just finished. He needs to instantly build comsat.
He is definitely building the comsat, but really be able to realize, okay, he's pushing back the Zerglings and doing some micro. Okay, trying to get some more intel, doing the mind game here and there. But now there are 3 lurkers are ready. Going for the bus, but gotta be careful. Okay, oh no, Marines are out of position. Oh,
8 Marines are going to get caught, but at least the lurkers don't run by. SCVs are setting up. Now, the lurkers are in range of the comsat, and the bunker is not in range of the lurkers. Now, Rush still doesn't know that this is all in one hatch, but like I said, if he builds a bunker on the high ground, I think he can hold it.
Well, he is... Okay, that bus is about to go for the bus, but... the Marine gets picked off. SCVs... Not much of SCVs, but oh, the turret didn't finish.
Yeah, he focused down the turret. He knew that was the Hail Mary, or that was the saving grace for Rush. And this bunker is going to fall, and it doesn't matter if there's, you know, only 1 lurker getting up the ramp. If there's nothing to see it, he's going to eventually get through. And like I said, imagine if there's a bunker here. I think he could have held, but now he's in big time trouble.
Well, I think it's still playable for Rush because the main base saturation is completely great, what I would say. Oh, the lurkers, okay, they'll somehow evacuate from the natural, but still no medic for Rush.
Yep, no medics. I don't even know if he has stim. Okay, yeah, he does have stim. Now, these lurkers are extremely low, but he just now gets a scan. And that scan, or that stim, that means the next stim is going to put him at 20 health. There's a stim. That was an overextended lurker, and he instantly kills it.
I think he might be able. Yeah, I think he might be able to hold.
Yeah, at the natural, how much energy? He has 1 available, and he's gonna go for it. He's scanned, and with that lurker falling, I think Rush might have done it.
Soma is grabbing his hair. He's pulling his hair because I could have ended this game, but just somehow it didn't work out so well. Like, look at Soma's saved up bag. He does have 800 Vespin gas. Things didn't just work out so well. Rush! Oh my god, I'm shocked. I thought he's just gonna be immediately losing as soon as he just lost those 8 Marines.
I thought so too. That was like almost all of his DPS caught in an instant. And Soma just barely not able to push through. But what great crisis control from Rush there. Not to give up. He's continued with his build. Oh, look, he just realized that it was one hatch. I think he's like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, he's checking the replay. Okay, that lurker was pretty darn fast, so he will be checking the replay. Oh, this was just completely one hatch all in? He'll be just laughing inside of his mind.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a bigger fan of the 12 pool because it gives you more larva. Like, you could see the push is strong for Soma, right? But it fizzled out very quickly because he can't build Lings and Hydras at the same time. So it either wins the game instantly or you're in trouble. Whereas with the 2 hatch, or yeah, the 12 pool and the 2 hatch, you can consistently build more Hydras and Lings. And unfortunately for Soma, he just barely didn't have enough.
I'm just shocked of this game, this best of 5 series. I mean, why didn't Soma play standard? Like, he should be feeling confident with his 2 hatch meta. Like, during the interview he said no one, like no other Terran players like beside me, not even he didn't even mention about Flash. Like, no Terran figured out about his 2 hatch playstyle, like how they should be executing or countering against his 2 hatch meta player. But he didn't use 2 hatch meta. He has been doing some sort of like all in from game number 1, and game number 2 was some sort of a 3 hatch opening, crazy Zerg. I like the opening, but somehow Rush was just absolutely beast with the macro and bust the natural, so that was excellent.
Yeah, and crucially, Rush kills one of the lurkers there. The scan just faded away, and he was barely able to take one out. And I mean, you can see it. The initial attack is strong, but afterwards, it's like 2 Lings and 2 lurkers. Like, there's just not enough larva to support the continuing attack. And with this medic coming out, I actually thought that he was going to go for it right here with the stem, but once that he was just waiting for that medic. And we're going to be in a break and come back with our 4th game. And we are back, guys. Game 4 coming at us momentarily. Soma almost eking out a win with that very slick one-hatch lurker play, but Rush just barely holding on by the skin of his teeth. And I like what you said earlier. I'm surprised that Soma's talking about how good his two-hatch muta is, and he hasn't shown it even once.
Yeah, not even once. Maybe he wanted to show in game number 1, but Rush was doing some sort of a ARAX into 1-1-1, so yeah, that's understandable, but still no two-hatch play has shown by Soma for some reason.
Well, now our fourth map is going to be on Lemon, and if both players are going to be playing weirdly in the first 3 games, I don't think it's going to get any more standard on Lemon, because we've seen all types of stuff on here. We've seen 888, we've seen Floated Factory. I mean, even the Terran versus Protoss have been wild. So I'm curious to see what both players are going to come up with on Lemon here. Trying to think back to the last game we saw, Terran versus Zerg. Light hit with a nice timing versus Queen. Let's get into game 4. Rush 1 game away from moving into the round of 4. Can he do it, or will Soma bring it back? So in the top, or in the bottom left, our Zerg player down 2-1. It is Soma. And then in the top right, in the driver's seat right now, we've got Mr. Rush. Now you're talking about how you wanted to see an 8 racks on polypoid. What do you think about 8 racksing Lemon?
I think ARAX is also one of the nice strategy on Lemon, because you know you don't want to die to 4 pool. I mean, even if you do the 8 racks at the entrance of the natural, and you see with the scouting SCP, you got all this intel. Oh, Zergling's already coming out and already about to attack my base. So you can just lift up the barracks and start building a bunker at the main. And if Zerg ever goes for the hatchery first, like 12 hatchery at the net, then he can do like the standard of a ARAX pressure, like a game number 1. But I guess Rush is just feeling confident that he's just going to be going for a depot with the probably depot with the barracks wall at the net.
Yep, that is going to be a wall at the natural. Meanwhile, we do have Overlord built for Soma. We'll see if he wants to go for another early pool. My thoughts are the chances of him going for 3 pool builds in a row, very slim. So I was actually also on the 8 racks train, but I think this is fine going for the wall, and that is going to give him, good defense. He's gonna be able to power hard. We'll see if he wants to actually tech behind this. But in general, Rush is not somebody that I see play 1-1-1 or something very often, or mech. So I think it's unlikely that we're going to see anything other than bio.
Okay, finally Rush is playing completely standard, doing the 12 scout, and just checking the 12 o'clock side and immediately turning his SCB direction towards the bottom right. So that's a little bit of interesting. And Soma once again 12 hatchery into 11 pull, 10 gas, and finally doing the gas into scout here. And Rush momentarily, once he doesn't get to get the intel with the first scout, he's probably going to be immediately putting down the second depot at the natural moment. Yeah, there's the second depot.
Yep, second depot, just a single marine for defense. Ooh, he scouts the middle for potential proxy and then backs off.
Look at Rush's main base.
Oh, gas.
Yeah, that's a gas.
Yeah, and there's no command center. I mean, and this isn't even a fast gas. This was like a 14 gas?
I'll say like 15. Wasn't there like a 15 gas strategy in Terran vs Protoss? And you kind of still do the like refinery into an expansion that time?
Yeah.
I think he's doing that strategy right now. So his gas is faster. CC is like, what is it, like 10 seconds later than the regular timing of the Rex expand. And that having that refinery ahead of time, I think it is going to help him to get the factory super fast, and maybe he might going to be going for the Valkyrie opening. Maybe he has prepared for something in this game number 4.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is this smells like it's going to be a Valkyrie build, because knowing Rush, I think the chances of this being a mech build is extremely low, but he has some of the best Valkyrie control I've ever seen. Now, unfortunately, that Valkyrie control not transferring over to that SCV control, and it does get popped in versus somebody that just showed is willing to go one hatch lurker. It is dangerous to be in the dark like this, but so far I don't see Hydrogen going down anywhere, and actually that is going to be a third hatch in the main for Soma.
So this is the inner hatch that a lot of Zerg players recently started doing it against Terran, because a lot of Terran players kind of do like those steam rush to immediately deny the third expansion ASAP. So this is the one of the other solution that Zerg can also do against Terran, doing the inside 3 hatch. And let's see what the next follow-up is. Okay, that's a machine shop and Starport. Okay, he's doing the 1-1-1 strategy.
Yep, so this is 1-1-1 for now. Vulture's going to come out. Now, this is what I want to ask you. Is Soma somebody that gets +1 armor? Or does he get +1 weapon on his mutas?
I don't know. I think if he gets to see the Valkyrie, maybe he might gonna go for the +1 armor. But really having the Vespin gas. When we look at... Okay, he does have the second extractor completed a long time ago. So that's a good sign. So I think Rush is planning to go for the Vulture speed into Valkyrie opening most likely. Okay, here's the eBay next. And
yeah, so
that's a 3 Marine.
3 Marine's going to move out. He wants to push that lane back. And I was asking about, obviously, the weapon versus armor, because we know that this Valkyrie is going to be faster than Soma's expecting. So if there's like 2 Valkyries out and Soma has already committed to +1 weapon, I don't know what he can really do, because what's he going to do? Cancel it and go into armor? I don't know about that. And I think Rush will have a really slick timing if Soma goes +1 weapon. We'll see though. First few lists are being built. Valkyrie's going to start coming out pretty soon. It just now started.
Ooh.
eBay has finished.
Something just came into my mind, like those 3 Vultures with the speed probably going to be buying some a lot of time.
Yeah.
And Soma also definitely knows the Marine count was super low. The Marine count was super low, that he should be realizing that M&M pressure is going to be super slow. And he finally realized there are 3 Vultures are out on the map with the speed upgrade. So he needs to wall off the net. And this is actually buying some time for Rush to have the missile turret later on.
Yeah, and it forces Soma to be committed to an upgrade, whether it's weapon or armor. Like, if weapon gets halfway done, he's not going to cancel it. I mean, it's too far along. First Valkyrie is out. And we can see that Soma has just given up on the Vultures. He's going to send those Mutilis across the map, but he's in for a rude awakening, because first Valk is already out. Second Valk is like seconds away from popping out.
Oh, I think the second Valkyrie is already out. Yes,
Yeah,
second Valkyrie is already out at 6 minutes 30 seconds. So this is actually looking great. That damage is doing so much of damage. I'm not sure how much of a SCV Soma did pick, but these 7 mutas are pretty darn low HP, I would say. And as soon as Rush out that mutalist harassment, he's just gonna be having some nice time of adding more of a barracks momentarily.
So he built a hatchery at the entrance, canceled it. Now he's going into a sunken, and I think Soma's in big time trouble. He doesn't have a third base anywhere. These mutas did not do the damage he was expecting.
Oh.
It looks like he's in an awkward position right now, and we know that Rush is just going business as usual. Like, his build hasn't really been hindered at all.
I mean, if I try to remember, Soma was making another hatchery at the net. He
Yeah.
was making that hatchery for the wall against the Vulture speed, but now he canceled it and adding more sunken colony at the net. But I think he's just literally miscalculating of what Rush is actually doing. The M&M is not even out yet. I mean, no medic whatsoever.
Okay, well, that's a lot of Scourge coming across the map, but turrets are already set up. Valkyries are already in position, 3 of them. And I think Rush scouted the 3 Sunkens. If I was Rush here, I'd be confused. Like, why do you have 3 Sunkens? Because the tank is just going to beat that. But as played, we'll see what happens. If these Scourge can connect, I think Soma's still in it. But I mean, still the Marine tank ball is going to be quite punishing.
Okay, that's a 3 Valkyrie micro. None of the Scourge does connect. I heard a lot of middles just got killed.
Yeah, and as I stated, Rush has some of the absolute best Valkyrie control. I don't think I've ever seen him not do the moving shot, like ever get Valkyries get picked off.
That's
so
gross. That's gross looking at Soma's main base, like how much of drones were mining at the main base. It looks even more than how much of Rush's SCVs count at the main base.
Yeah, that is a lot of drones. And you can see it reflected in the supply. He's almost even in supply. Okay, Soma is actually going to show these lurkers. I think that's a bit of a mistake. Maybe he could have gotten a couple of the Marines on hold position, maybe. Hold position lurkers. But we'll see if he can actually catch this army off guard. Terran's now aware of it, though.
I feel like Soma doesn't really need to make that many of Zergling right now. I mean, Rush is not moving out yet. Like, why do you need to have that many Zerglings right now? Like, those Zergling could have been, 6 drone and already saturating the 6 o'clock expansion ahead of time. And now he's saturating the 6 o'clock now. That's just gonna be too late, I would say. And now those Zerglings just thrown away for free.
Yeah, and the lurker burrow timing was not ideal. And now without any link support, Vessel can just sit there. Tanks can just push this back without even having to siege. And we've got about a 20 supply lead now for Rush. Also, the Valkyries, I don't think have taken any damage at all. Good irradiate, they're going to eliminate one of the lurkers. Soma's trying to buy as much time as possible, and that's why, because the Defiler Mount has just started. And that means that we are about maybe 12-minute mark going to have Dark Swarm. But that is an ample amount of time for Rush to set up a huge tank push outside of Soma's base.
Yeah, Rush is absolutely a beast right now, making a bunch of marine production from those barracks. And look at how Rush's income. Like, he's constantly spending his money so wisely and having such a great amount of M&M ball right now incoming with 3 tanks, I believe. That should be the 3 tank. But where's the +1? Okay, +1 just now kicks in for Soma. That's a good sign. 3 Valkyries are doing some job. Okay, does get supply block for Soma.
Yeah, and this can be scary because with the +1 armor, it's going to nullify the +1 weapon of Terran. Here come those Lings and Lurkers from the back. Did Rush overextend here? It's 9-10 Lurkers, but look at the splitting. Amazing from Rush, and I think there's just barely too much Terran.
Ooh.
Maybe not. Tank is going to fall.
I think he barely held it, but, you know, Soma invested so much of a gas, so I wouldn't say this is a great trade for Soma because he didn't kill any of Science Vessel. He didn't kill Valkyries too. So now those Valkyries are pretty much flying just like a Corsair and picking up overlords here and there. And Soma is just going to be getting supply. But look at the supply count. 62 out of 69.
Yeah, not a lot of supply for Soma. That's going to be the last lurker that remains. And I don't know if there's a Defiler out. There's more lurkers coming, but he needs something to get under, or he needs to get that orange cloud on the map. The Valkyries are starting to supply block Soma. It's all starting to fall apart, and we can see Rush is continuing to send more and more reinforcements across the map. The Scourge connects, but doesn't even kill that Valkyrie.
Oh, now the Defiler came up, but the Nidus Canal did not even connect it to the 6 o'clock. Dark Swarm, the orange cloud is not supporting. I guess it is supporting the M&M instead of supporting his Zerglings, and now Hatcher is getting focus targeted. I think Soma is just constantly getting supply block because of the single Valkyrie. Constantly picking up Overlord here and there. Ooh, those cracklings are pretty strong.
Yeah, crackling is strong, especially with the +1 armor. Soma may barely hold on, but this Valkyrie, it has 10 kills. I think it's going to supply block again, Soma. Another Overlord pops out there. He just can't catch a break.
Ooh, +2 already done for Rush. So that means +1 armor should be kicking in momentarily if he has ever built that second eBay. And okay, he does finally get the Valkyrie, but this is just not looking great yet. That's a double eBay upgrade for Rush. Okay, more tanks was coming too.
Yeah, more tanks is coming, and with the double eBay and with +2 being done, that means +3 is what, maybe like 2.5 minutes away. The Defiler does put down a Dark Swarm, but not able to catch that tank, and that is an open base. And we already knew, or we already saw this hatchery take some damage earlier. We could look at that Firebat. He's got his eyes locked and loaded on that Defiler. Marines move out of the orange cloud and is just going to focus down this hatchery.
Yeah, I think we might gonna be seeing the GG momentarily. Soma is consuming any units, whatever he sees in the front. He's trying to use some nice plague on the M&M or even Science Pistol, but it's just way too far away. Okay, he does use the plague on time, but it's still painful to watch.
Rebuilding the third base is Soma. Some of the units are plagued, but this army just isn't scary. It's 2 lurkers, just a couple lings. The tank is going to fall, but there's still bio left over. Luckily, there's no +1 armor on the Marines, but he's splitting immaculately. Limits the amount of damage. We can see that +2 armor kicked in for Zerg, so about a minute late compared to the +2 weapon of Karen. Oh my gosh, mass irradiate coming in, and Rush is expanding behind this too.
Yeah, this is the down key of where he was fighting against the Terran M&M ball with 10 lurkers with the +1 armor. That was excellent, but if he's not killing or eating up all this army and having those lurkers staying alive, that would have been a different case. But all the lurkers pretty much, I mean, the Marine medics are pretty cheap. They're pretty much a mineral-based units, and mineral-based unit versus trading against Zerg army that costs a lot of Vespene gas, definitely that's a Terran favorite. And none of the vessels got picked up by those Scourge nor Middlers. So Rush is going to be having those cloud vessels. Yeah, that's a cloud vessel here. Constantly using Irradiate here and there. And Soma, he should be knowing he's behind in this game. But he doesn't want to leave, because if he leaves, this is end of his game of this best of 5 series.
Yeah, well, Soma is fighting for his life. We just had back-to-back great plagues there. But it's still 110 for Rush. Just 50 for Soma. He's just barely holding on. And Rush is about to have an influx of money come in, because I just saw him transfer those SCVs to top middle. And remember, that's a double gas base. So you think the vessel cloud is high right now? Just wait a couple minutes. Now the Scourge can actually take down to the vessels. That's great. This is the start for Soma to get something happening for him. But he is just on the back foot right now. Those Marines at the left side are actually very low.
I'm wondering what that SCV is for. Maybe he's going to be putting down the offensive command center in front of Soma's face? Well, what is this?
I think he may have just selected everything, but it would be quite funny to see if he does build an offensive command center. That's when you know you need to absolutely get out of this game. Scourge are not going to connect on any of those, and now we've got an eraser. And you talked about how many drones there were at the mineral line of the main. If there's no burrow, we're about to see all those drones get wiped out.
Yeah, Soma is biting his mouth. Okay, there's GG. Oh.
GG comes in, and Soma, he put up a valiant effort. But Rush, just a little bit too strong today. You can see he's so happy about it. And all day long, we just really didn't get to see what Soma is known for. The 2-hatch mutas, like he went for it that game, but Valkyrie build instantly shut that down.
I'm shocked how strong that Valkyrie strategy was. Maybe I might try that strategy on Ascension, but I'm not sure how well it is going to be worked out on Ascension, but maybe I'll try it in someday in the future. But I feel like Soma was thinking way too much, and just things were not working out so well this game.
Yeah, you could tell that Soma had his game plan set up. Like, the 1-hatch lurker was not like an in-the-moment thing. He obviously had that plan. He just barely lost with it. Then game 2? I mean, game 2, he also had that planned out, and it was going well, but unfortunately, Rush just killed it. And then game 3, I think game 3 and game 1 he was thrown off, obviously by the 8 racks, and then this Valkyrie kind of just threw a wrench. But game 2 and 3, I mean, those were good games for Soma, but unfortunately, Rush just a little bit too strong today. And we're going to be going into our interview with our winner in just a second.
I feel like, when was the last time we saw Terran player make it into semifinal? I feel like never. for like more than a year now.
I don't remember.
진출자가 탄생했습니다.
This is now the third player who will be making it into semifinal. That is going to be Rush. Congratulations. And before the game starts, she says she felt like Rush was feeling nervous. But now you finally actually proved us that you won this best of 5 series and you made it into semifinal. How do you feel?
좀 아직 얼떨떨하네요.
So Rush said he prepared a lot, and from game number 1 it didn't work out too well, but the other 3 games worked out so well for Rush, so he's just kind of shocked that he can't really believe himself that he made it into the semifinal this season.
예전에 비해서 유영진 선수가 조금 더 발전한 부분 어떤 부분이라고 스스로 생각하실까요?
So what do you think of yourself, that past of you versus current of you in like 2019, 2020, and 2021? And he says from the previous games, previous seasons, he used to play all the time, like classic, standard all the time, and that probably hit him for his limit, and not climbing up higher. But this time, he also prepared the standard, but also prepared for the strategy-wise, and all those plans just worked out so well. And from game number 2, from game number 2, Soma was making a bunch of sunkens, and he was also taking the 4th gas super fast, and high ground sunkens were pretty much impossible to break it. But how did you decide that you can actually break it? And
제가 2일업이 좀 더 빠른 걸 알아가지고 그
so
타이밍에
Rush is saying
빼고는 없다.
he definitely agrees with the strategy-wise that sunken, the drone sunken Mira into fast ultralisk build is definitely unbeatable. But the moment where he saw how much of a Guardians Soma invested, he kind of realized that Soma's 2-1 upgrade is going to be slow. So he kind of thought that he's going to be ahead with the upgrade and he can actually bust it, so it worked out well. And from game number 3, it was a 1 hatchery, 1 base lurker play by Soma, and I'm pretty sure you were not expected. So Rush was also not expected of it.
그건 아니에요. 많이 당황하긴 했는데 좀 막다 보니까 이거 투회 처리는 아닌데? 이 느낌이 계속 들어가지고.
So Rush was saying the moment where he was holding that pressure 3 lurker with the Zergling bust, he kind of felt like this amount of army seems too small. This doesn't feel like 2 hatch all in by Soma.
이 빌드는 사실
So
어제 갑작스럽게 준비를 했어요. 원래 제가 레몬을
he kind of felt like the moment where he lost the Marine, he thought that he can still be able to play, so he's just able to hold that pressure.
호선이 형이 24강 때 좀 준비했던 빌드가 이거거든요. 이거를 좀 그래가지고 호선이 형한테 직접 연락을 해가지고
So from game number 4,
이런 걸 좀 알려달라고 해서
he wasn't planning of this game number 4 strategy until he had a contact with Sok. Sok was preparing this strategy on Lemon on roundup 24 this season against 815, and it didn't work out well for Sok because he got 4 pull rush by 815 that game. So he was contacting Sok for those optimization and what kind of game sense and what exactly he should be prioritizing into a mid and late game transition, and things are just worked out well for him. Any last word? And he wants he asked a lot of players to practice. Soki, Hero, Action, Letta. So Letta was giving him some feedback. Letta was observing his game while he was practicing against Zerg players like Action, Hero, Soki, and so on. So Letta was giving him a lot of feedback too.
같이 하고.
He was apologizing to his wife that he was preparing. He was preparing for his quarterfinal, so he wasn't having much of time to take care of his baby, his daughter. And he just said, "I love you" to his daughter, Haru. Haru is his daughter's name, Haru.
저는 좀 둘 다 하고 싶긴 한 게 일단 일장 형이랑은 16강부터 좀 연습 파트너였어요. 그래가지고
So he was saying that he has been
같이 올라갔으면 좋겠다는 생각.
practicing a lot with Hero, like practice partner since round of 16.
자리를 좀 겨뤄보고 싶기도 해요.
점점 더 경기를
He also, he doesn't matter which player actually comes into semi-final. He kind of wants to play against anyone, either Light or Hero.
진출 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
Alright, thank you for the interview.
자, 이렇게 해서 ASL
Congratulations
Season12의
making it to
세 번째
semi-final.
4강 진출자 유영진 선수와
So
함께했습니다.
now we're done with the interview with Rush. We're gonna be looking at this round of 8 match 3 best of 5 of today's result.
Yep, as we see Soma getting that nice Hydra win on Largo. And remember, he said if he won game 1, he's going to win easily. But unfortunately for him, Rush had other plans, really turned on his game, especially on Revolver. Just crushed it. Polypoid was nice too. A really sick hold there. And then, of course, Lemon with the really killer Valkyrie build. I loved the slightly faster gas, as you mentioned. Get the Valkyrie like 10 to 15 seconds faster. Combo that with the Vultures to buy time. And all of a sudden, this Valkyrie build, where a lot of times you don't even have a Valkyrie out, you're just relying on turrets. He had 2 already out by the time Zerg got there. So I definitely think that you may be seeing that on the ladder more often these days. Meanwhile, we've got our 4th match coming up on Tuesday, and that is going to be another exciting Terran versus Zerg. It's going to be Light versus Hero.
I'm excited, and I'm pretty sure I feel like Rush showed way too many of our strategies, and I feel like Hero might gonna be prepared what Light is gonna be used in this best of 5 series for the next 2 days on Tuesday. Oh yeah, I'm also getting my second dose for the vaccine on Tuesday, so I hope I'm feeling okay after getting the vaccine.
I think you'll be okay. I got mine last Thursday, and I was okay. Just my arm hurt. It was no big deal, though. But yeah, Light versus Hero, that should be a great matchup. Unlike Soma, I think I remember Hero in particular being the guy that built additional drones every single time. So we were talking, or I was talking about how Rush loves to 8 racks. I would like to see Light actually 8 racks often in this series to kind of let Hero know, like, hey man, I know you like to build those drones, but versus me, you're going to have to keep in mind that I might just actually 8 racks you. We see the maps. It's going to be Revolver, Ascension, Polypoid, Goodnight, and Lemon. So this is going to be another good set of maps. We're going to get to see Ascension and Goodnight this time around, and we didn't get to see them today, so that's always nice.
I think those game number 2 and game number 4 probably chosen by Hero. It is definitely hard for Terran to defend the Mutilus harassment on Ascension and Goodnight for sure. Like Goodnight 11 o'clock, no matter how well you put down the missile tray, your SCV just constantly gonna be walking behind of the mineral line, and they just die for free.
I hate that. I absolutely hate when my SCVs do that. You know, we may see Light go for the Valkyrie build because of that exact thing. If you just shut down the Mutas with Valkyries, well, it doesn't matter if the SCVs go behind the mineral line. So we'll keep, or I'll try to remember that if we get to the Goodnight map. And of course, we've got Lemon as our final map. That will be an exciting map to end on if we get there. Anything else you want to say about today's games? I mean, all of them were wild.
That 15 gas into Valkyrie strategy, I have tried it before actually. I have tried it before, but that was on Polypoid where Polypoid, and I didn't do the nat wall with the 2 depot with the single barracks, and I also didn't go for the speed vulture 2 that time. I just purely went for mass marine production and try to fake that, hey, I'm playing 2 racks by you, or maybe like I'm doing plus super fast +1 into maybe 4 racks, 5 racks M&M pressure. But that time it didn't work out so well, but I guess Sa reinvented this 15 gas strategy of going for the speed vulture into Valkyrie opening. So I kind of liked about this strategy how Rush actually showed in an offline stage that how strong it can be, and I might be just rethinking about this strategy.
Yeah, I think the secret there is really the wall. You don't have to build Marines constantly, like you just mentioned. And then, of course, the Vulture buying the time. So, yeah, I also think that I'm going to experiment with it because, as you mentioned, Good Night is a nightmare at certain spawns. And the Valkyrie build, I think, will just shut it down instantly. I'll have to figure out a way to wall the top left position. But, yeah, I think this could be a good opener. But at the same time, you have to keep in mind that a lot of Zerg players will Ling Lurker all in, at least at the lower ranks of ladder. So I don't know how long I'll be sticking with that build, but yeah, it looked pretty strong. I'm trying to think about what else Rush showed us today. I mean, we just saw typical play, right? Like, it was just normal from him. I mean, Soma was all over the place. He had 4 different builds, extremely different builds.
I feel like Soma just had way too much of a thought inside of his mind, like he tried to win the game with strategy wise. Why not just show mechanical way? Like, I know he has strong mechanics with great Mura micro, but he didn't do it. Like, he could have just gone for like regular 2-hatch Mura into maybe taking another third base and maybe go for Crazy Zerg, where he has done a lot of like Crazy Zerg style like 2-3 months ago before this ASL Season 12 starts. But I'm not sure why he didn't even plan about going for Crazy Zerg style.
Yeah, I think Lemon, he wanted to play normal, and you could see it, but the Valkyries just shut it down. And unfortunately for him, in my opinion, playing normal in the 4th game when he's down 2-1, it was just too blatantly obvious that it was going to be normal. So it kind of just backfired on him. You know, we could replay the series and get a completely different result. As we mentioned before, and even as the slides were presented earlier today, 314 matches between these two players, 53% win rate for Rush. I mean, that's about as close as it gets. It easily could have been a 3-1 in favor of Soma. I mean, it's just how the cards fell today. And unfortunately, Soma is going to be eliminated, but, you know, he'll be back next season for sure. But this is setting up, you know, we're not going to have mass Zerg in the finals. I know you were talking about that. We now have 1 Zerg, 1 Protoss, and 1 Terran. So the balance is quite even.
Yeah, I think the map somewhat helped us to eliminate Zerg, I would say. Not much of a place to put Overlord. Like Lemon, where else can you put the Overlord beside Natural? Oh, I guess they're done wrapping it up.
Yeah, we're going to be wrapping it up now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, Tuesday, it's going to be Light versus Hero, another exciting TVZ, so you don't want to miss that. And we will be back in just a couple days.